Hey guys, it's Vitamin G time with me, your host, Gina Horton. I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. If you like what you hear in my podcast today, please do me a huge favor and go to your favorite platform and give me a 5-star review. It's super easy and it helps others find my show. So it's a way for you to help me help others. If you would like to find out more about working with me on finding your purpose, hop on over to the link in my bio on Instagram for more information. Thanks so much for listening today, and I hope you are leveraging change for good. The definition of self-confidence, according to Merriam-Webster, is confidence in oneself and in one's powers and abilities. Another definition from the Cambridge Dictionary is the belief that you can do things well and that other people respect you. The word confidence is defined as the quality of being certain of your abilities or of having trust in people, plans, or the future. Not to be confused with self-esteem. Self-esteem refers to how much you value and appreciate yourself. Your self-confidence is the belief you have in yourself and in your abilities. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Gina. I'm super excited about this episode and to be talking with you today about self-confidence. We're going to dive in right now to the top 6 myths about self-confidence. And I would be curious to know if any of these are things that you thought were true, actually. So the first one is, we are born with confidence. If you go out to Google, you'll find there's some thin research out there that suggests that genetics can play a role. However, overwhelmingly, for most of us, our environment and our experiences as we go through life, encountering new situations or new environments, cultivate our perceptions and our abilities and our skills. So while it may seem some are born with self-confidence, that is generally a myth. Number 2, you can't fake confidence. You've probably heard the phrase, fake it till you make it. I know there's some ideas out there that we should never fake anything. We just need to be ourselves, and I absolutely agree with that. But when it comes to self-confidence, there's some science out there that demonstrates we can create confidence when it does not exist. And I know things can be complex and unique for each of us. You may feel confident in one area of your life. For example, if you're a mom and you know your kid better than anyone else, you know what's best for them. Or if you're a teacher and you know your students really well. But maybe in some other situations, you feel like you're floundering and not at all comfortable with your abilities. So one trick I did want to share with you, and there is some Harvard and Columbia University studies out there that showed the impact of using a particular body pose to impact your feelings of power. They found that when you adopt a high power pose for at least 2 minutes, you tend to feel less stressed and more powerful. So for example, if you're going into a high pressure meeting or you're about to give an important presentation, try changing your body language to boost your confidence in that moment. The power pose can be as simple as standing tall with your feet hip width apart. Arch your back slightly, put your shoulders back a little bit, place your hands on your hips Or you can raise your hands high in the air and spreading out your fingers and raising your chin. And you want to try doing some box breathing for a few minutes while you're doing this pose. And you would that is just breathing in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and then repeat that. So try that and see if that works for you. Okay, number 3. You must be an extrovert to have self-confidence. That's a myth. For all my introverts out there, this is good news. Maybe you secretly already know this, but as an introverted extrovert myself, I am really thankful that this is a total myth. I am not the most talkative person in the room all the time. I can be, but I'm not all the time. And I am more of a listener, and I do not particularly enjoy being the center of attention. But I can still own the spotlight when it's my turn and embody all my talents, gifts, and experience. And so can you. And it's funny because when you apply for jobs, sometimes hiring managers are looking for an extrovert to be in that role. They just focus on extrovert. But really, what they're looking for is confidence. And it is good news that introverts can have and convey that sense of confidence. So it's really a misnomer and myth to think that you have to be an extrovert to have self-confidence. Number 4, confident appearing people have no insecurities. And this is totally false. It is human nature to feel insecure about the unknown. It's an instinctual and protective thing that comes up within us. When I moved to California from Texas back in 2021, I was not in a state of total confidence and self-assuredness. I had done all the work I needed to do, so I had a certain sense of calm reassurance about it, but it was all new to me, and there were definitely things I felt uncertain about. One of those things was simply flying over 1,400 miles with my dog. She had never flown before, and several bags by myself. The other was putting trust in movers to drive all my things from my old house to my new one, from Texas to California. I had the self-confidence in myself and knowing that I could figure it out, and I kept going and moving forward despite the uncertainty. But it wasn't without moments of panic sometimes. And by the way, Lexi did great on that plane ride, and everybody loved her. Number 5, confident people are arrogant. And I'm going to be honest on this one. When I was much younger, I thought this was true. I thought arrogance and a bloated sense of self were traits that were in lockstep with one another, with having self-confidence. The messages that I got growing up were be meek, be humble, don't speak too loud, be delicate. And I thought if you came off as confident, it was a bad thing. Let me tell you, I have learned differently. Think for a moment. To do surgery on a patient, a doctor has to have some confidence in what they are doing, right? And we need to see that confidence in them, or else we are going to run for the hills. I mean, would you ever agree to allowing a surgeon to cut you open if they were wishy-washy and hem-hawed about, well, I think I can do this, but I'm not sure? Hells to the no. There is a fine line between confidence and arrogance, though. Confidence is where you're positively expressing your abilities, while arrogance is the belief that you're more intelligent and more capable than others around you. If I believe in my own abilities and I do not need reassurance from anyone else, then I am happy and content and confident in what I do. And it has nothing to do with anyone else. and how I measure up to anyone else. Yes, someone could be better than me at a particular skill, but that does not negate my ability and what I can do. And the same is for you. You own your abilities and knowledge and skills, and have genuine appreciation for what others can do as well. It's not about who's better or worse. It's about self-trust and realizing that there's always more to learn and staying open. There may actually be times where you are the smartest person in the room and you feel very confident in your knowledge, experience, and abilities. But a wise leader once shared with me that in those circumstances, try to listen first in those rooms and try to speak last if possible and appropriate. Confidence is power. And being a good steward of that power, you generously allow others to speak and give their input before you drop in yours. All right, the sixth myth about self-confidence. To be confident, you have to be a big risk taker. That's not true. Size doesn't matter on this one, my friends. Growth does matter, and stepping outside your comfort zone is crucial to growth. Trying new things expands your thinking and helps you gain new perspectives. You do not, however, need to be a high risk taker to have self-confidence. Let me repeat that again because it's very important. You do not need to be a high risk taker to have self-confidence. Try making small changes and build up to bigger ones as you gain confidence in your ability to adapt and evolve. And I heard an example recently about confidence, and as a metaphor, I thought it totally made sense. So hear me out on this. If you had a glass on your kitchen counter with a pitcher of water next to it, you could probably pick up that pitcher of water and easily pour it into a glass. If the pitcher was full of lemonade or iced tea, you could probably easily pour that as well. But what if you were pouring gasoline into that same glass? Does anything come up for you? It did for me when I first heard it. I would be nervous about pouring that gasoline, even though I know myself to be a good pourer. How we feel about something can impact our confidence. For example, I would feel nervous about spilling a toxic chemical all over my kitchen if I mess up pouring it into the glass. The risk is less with the water, lemonade, or tea. But with gasoline, it's a much higher risk of making a bigger mess, and it's flammable. To be honest, I would probably bail and just not even pour it, not do it. Or I would move it to the driveway outside, away from everything. Knowing ourselves and trusting ourselves and our abilities comes with context. We have to be willing to adjust to the situation. If the stakes were high and it were somehow critical for me to pour that gasoline into the glass on my kitchen counter, I could probably muster the courage to do it very slowly and carefully. I wouldn't pour it the same way that I pour water or the lemonade or the tea. And here comes courage, waltzing into our conversation about self-confidence. Courage is defined as our ability to control fear and be willing to deal with something that is dangerous, difficult, or unpleasant. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, that risk tolerance, we said that you do not have to be a big risk taker to have self-confidence. Our confidence is built on courage to do hard or unpleasant things. We power up and we power through those hard things And as a result, we build our self-confidence. If you're facing something really hard right now in your life, it's important to develop that mental muscle that helps you control fear and shift your perspective. You have to decide and be willing to go beyond your comfort zone and do the thing. Doing this over time is going to help you start to build your self-trust in your own abilities. Now, I have an example for you here. If you are dealing with a very difficult person in your life and they do things that are irrational, and maybe all they want to do is argue and fight, what if you decided today to go beyond your usual comfort zone and refuse to engage with them? Refuse to allow yourself to be caught up in their emotional drama and painful projections of themselves. Just that one act of refusing to engage with them could make a huge difference in your ability to deal with them. Every time you step back and away from their rage and their arguing and their incessant fighting and constant need to have the last word, allows you to gain more courage in your ability to manage your own response. As you learn more and more to manage your own response to them, you gain more self-esteem and self-trust. Remember, self-esteem refers to how much you value and appreciate yourself. Your self-confidence is an unshakable belief you have in yourself and in your abilities. Your confidence is a mindset and a choice. If you place high value on your own inner peace and your time and your effort and your energy, and you act on this refusal to engage with that toxic, energy-sucking, life-draining person, that one small act allows you to reinforce your self-confidence and protect your inner peace, your time, your effort, and energy. And in turn, you are able to invest in those people in your life who are life-giving. They're positive, supportive forces. You put low energy and effort into the toxic person that robs you of your peace, time, and energy. A question that pops up a lot about self-confidence is, how do we gain that unshakable belief within ourselves? And one of the most powerful ways I've heard this described, this unshakable belief, is from Tim Grover. And he has one of his books called Relentless and also called Winning. They're both great books. But he refers to the word relentless as being a state of mind that can give you strength to achieve, to survive, to overcome, to be strong when others are not. And he says this ability is within all of us. And he refers to having varying degrees of mental toughness. He has this thing where he refers to the coolers, the closers, and the cleaners. And a cleaner is someone you might think of as an ultimate competitor and achiever. They refuse to be satisfied with just trying or giving their best. They don't just do the job. They define the job. And he's referring to people like Michael Jordan, Kobe, and many others. Coolers are good. Closers are great. Cleaners are unstoppable. And Grover talks about the huge commitment it takes to be unstoppable. He describes cleaners as having the ability to trust their instincts, shut out doubt, and fear and keep going when everyone else has given up? Can you think of a time in your life when you've been a cleaner? If you're a mom and you've given birth to a child, you are a cleaner, woman. You are. Every mom who's given birth or who has raised a child is a freaking cleaner. Now, going back to the glass and the gasoline. If it were your job to pour gasoline into a glass over and over as a job all day, do you think you could develop skills and strategy to do it safely and without allowing it to spill over and create toxicity in your space? What is the gasoline in your life right now? Do you think you could find a way under pressure to manage it with the kind of mental toughness and strength of a cleaner? You can. You just have to mentally decide and relentlessly commit to doing the thing. You know, we are all in this together. We all have strengths and weaknesses. As a human being, you are worthy, you have value, you are more capable of doing anything you set your mind to, more so than any other living thing on this planet. And if we surround ourselves with the right people, our strengths are amplified and our weaknesses are balanced out or neutralized. You can handle your life and anything that comes your way. You can. I want to encourage you to journal on these questions to help you get clarity on your own self-confidence. And I'm going to read 3 of them here. You can do 1, you can do all 3 of them, whatever you want. Write about a situation when you felt really confident. What was the situation? What did you say? What did you do? How did you feel? And what was the end result? What happened? Second one, write about 2 to 3 things that are going really well in your life right now and how they make you feel. The third one, do a gut check and write about something that you intuitively know to your core that you can handle and overcome any day of the week. You have got this. You are in the zone. You know you can do this better than anyone else you know. What is it? How does it make you feel? Taking care of you and your mental health is one of the most important things you can do. It's got to be one of your number 1 jobs as a human being. You have endless capacity to transform your thinking and self-confidence and influence others by your example to do the same. I hope this was helpful for you and that you're having a great week. Be blessed, and now go leverage change for good. Hey y'all, if my podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to me if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to do one or all of the following 3 things. First, please follow or subscribe to It's Vitamin G Time with Gina Horton. Following the podcast helps you because you'll never miss an episode, and it helps me because you'll never miss an episode. To do this, you go to the It's Vitamin G Time with Gina Horton show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to the show, and just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow. This is the most important thing for my show. Second, while you're there, if you'd be willing to give a 5-star rating and or a review, This helps others to find my show. So you're helping me to help others. And last, third, if you would share an episode that you loved with a friend, I would be so grateful. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're having a great day and leveraging change for good.